Buckle up, folks. A lot of you are not going to like this episode. What's going on, you bunch of heretics? Welcome to Heresy is My Therapy. Welcome back to a bit of a hiatus, a bit of a break from the channel, but we are back and we're just going to get straight into the nitty gritty of it. The stuff that we don't want to talk about, but we have to address. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the Games Workshop logo change, the addressing of the Games Workshop NDA, and we're going to touch a little bit on IP and why it's so important that Games Workshop needs to protect it. Getting into it straight away, guys, the Games Workshop logo. Now, as many of us love to take a little walk down nostalgia lane to be a tourist in our own old childhood and look at that classic 80s and 90s yellow and red jazzy writing Games Workshop logo. Well, kids, I gotta be honest with you, when you are a $1 million company on the FTSE 500, breaking into the FTSE 100, unfortunately, you need investors, stockholders, shareholders to take you a little bit more seriously. And of course, with Games Workshop being on the world market as they are, a little logo change is something that is required. Yes, the little logo change that many probably have noticed on the little boxes at the bottom, just around here. Granted, yes, it's very corporate, it's very bland, but guess what? Unfortunately, guys, we don't run multi-million dollar businesses, multi-million pound companies, so I think they must know what they're doing because the market tends to agree. And when the markets are green across the board, profits are up, that's good for us. It's good because it means more investors, more shareholders, more profits, more money getting pumped back into the company, and of course, better models, miniatures, ranges, the full lot for us as hobbyists. This is not the end of the world. Granted, sure, we've lost that little bit of nostalgia, but let's be realistic here. We adapted to the change. When Games Workshop stores went from Games Workshop to Warhammer stores, there was this whole, oh god, what will happen? But now when we walk down the street, we see that logo, that Warhammer, that iconic square with the hammer and wing. You know what it is. You know exactly what it is. You know it's a Warhammer store. You know it's your local game store. And then you go, we get over it, we move on. So everyone that's been panicking and worrying about it all, if it was that big of a deal, Games Workshop would have gone back to the old ways. But unfortunately, the market agrees, the market likes it, the shareholders like it, the investors like it. So guess what? That's good news for us. Deal with it, kids. Sorry. Okay. Moving on now to, of course, the NDA. So NDAs, for those of you who don't know what they are, these are called non-disclosure agreements. These happen absolutely everywhere. All companies do it. It's very prevalent and big in the sort of car YouTubing world. And a lot of people that have been in that sort of scene, myself included, that have been through the NDA process. Games Workshop is no different with their content creators. Now, of course, many of you are probably aware that the new NDA, so I've been told, so I'm led to believe, again, please don't take this as gospel, but from the creators I have been speaking to and that those have pushed some stuff out there, basically, Games Workshop's new NDA, new non-disclosure agreement, basically says, if you are a content creator getting products by Games Workshop, you cannot produce other content for other companies. Now, this might seem like a bit of a well, that's a bit jack on Games Workshop. Why would they do that? Now, as many of you are probably aware, most of the stuff that gets sent out is through content creators, YouTubers that have got a lot of followers. I do not have any sort of affiliation with Games Workshop. I have no NDA with Games Workshop, so I want to just kind of address a few things and see both sides of the coin. Yes, from a content creator's perspective, it's like, well, hang on here, you're kind of crippling my creative freedom and expression to create bits and pieces. On the other hand, if you are a content creator and you have quite a lot of subscribers or your Instagram, a high Instagram following, you are generating income through YouTube, through Google AdSense and ad revenue. Myself, I do generate small amounts of money from the channel, from YouTube, that helps create and pay for this. The reality is we wouldn't have all this available to us without Games Workshop, without Warhammer, without their IP, without their products. The reality is No other gaming system, even Infinity, which is, again, it's great. I've got plenty of stuff there. It is great, but it doesn't even... It's getting there, but it's nowhere near the monopoly, if you will, that Games Workshop has. So they have every single right to say, hang on, we're not going to pay you. Well, you're getting free miniatures from Games Workshop, or else if you want to continue this, because you're making money from Google through ads, through viewership. I get it. I get why Games Workshop aren't paying them, and we're probably, hey, look, no, it's either us or no one. Of course, devil's advocate would be, well, then, give me an employer contract, blah, 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 blah. But then Games Workshop could turn around and say, well, if that's the case and we're paying you, you can't make ad revenue. You must not monetize your content. So I get both sides of the coin. Personally, I'm on the agreement of Games Workshop. And let's be realistic here. Most of us that start on this journey, let's be realistic. Let's call it what it is. We do this because we want that phone call, that message from Games Workshop to say, congratulations, you're part of our content creator program. Here's some free miniatures. Go and enjoy yourself, create content, make your money, and here's all the stuff early and for free. Call it what it is. Underline it from, I want to do this and I want to do that. The reality is we all started this content creation because we're all on that hope that one day we get that phone call. I'll tell you now for free, if this was me and I got that phone call from Games Workshop and they said that you couldn't create any other content, but for us, honestly, call me a sellout, but I would. And I think most of you watching this, when you hear it, are probably in the same boat as probably what I am when I say this. So I get it. I get Warhammer stance. I get it. I get the frustrations on the content creator side. I do see both sides. But the reality is, without Games Workshop and their IP, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. That's the reality. We're making content. We're getting paid off their products. And if Games Workshop are saying we're going to give you all this, for example, the Horus Heresy box, it's nearly £200, and people were getting those 2-3 weeks beforehand. All right, maybe you didn't want that set, but it's still £200 worth of stuff that you're getting for free to make a couple of painting tutorials. It's not it's not bad really, is it? Then you're probably making that, if you've got a channel that's probably got over anywhere between 5,000 to 20,000 subscribers, and your video has, say, 2,000 to 10,000 views, you're going to make that money like that. So yeah, let's just be very careful how we kind of slate Games Workshop's approach their NDA. Personally, I completely get it, and I'm kind of on board. Finally, IP. I want to just touch very, very briefly on IP, which is intellectual property. Basically, your ideas and creations are protected by law. The reason why Games Workshop have to go so hard on this and on companies taking stuff from their IP is because under law, under British law, under I think international law, under commercial law, if you don't protect your IP, basically you don't feel it's valuable enough to be worth anything. So people can just use it, and if you've not been protecting it, they won't be on your side. So Games Workshop as a business, as a company where they sit in the ranking of, say, a FTSE 500, FTSE 100 company, they have to protect that IP. They have to, even if it is a small company, it has to be shown that you deem that your IP, your intellectual property, is worth fighting for and is thus protected by law. Again, I know it's not nice. There's obviously a grey space for people that are doing content like, creating battle reports and, creating, painting tutorials, because you're not selling anything. You are really just promoting their stuff, painting it in a certain way for people to buy models and basically play the game. It's granted there's this grey space of cosplayers that are buying stuff, that are making stuff for other people and then selling it, but you're selling off the IP that Games Workshop have created. That's why they have to go after these people. Licensed products, that's people that have gone with their product, that want to go to Games Workshop. Games Workshop take their cut because you've used their IP, and then obviously they sell their bits and pieces. But again, IP, I know everyone goes, they're the devil, they're this, they're that. A lot of companies do it. And a lot of companies have to protect their IP. They just have to. Like I say, if the law doesn't see that you're protecting your IP and you're not fighting for it, then you don't feel that it is all that much worth it, and they will side with the person that's been using your intellectual property. If, however, like Games Workshop, you are constantly making sure that your IP is worth fighting for, the law will side with you because you are protecting your intellectual property. I hope that's cleared things up, and hopefully in the comment section below you'll be able to give me a little bit more on the NDAs and IPs. If you're a content creator that has an NDA with Games Workshop, please, fill in the blanks down below. Let us all know, educate us all on what really goes on. I'd love to know. And again, for the IP, if you have a business degree or you're involved in law, or you've been kind of, messaged by Games Workshop to take some stuff down, again, love to know in the comment sections below. Anyway, guys, hopefully this little intro back into it, we will have a lot more light-hearted stuff on the way, so don't you worry. This is just kind of get back into it, go through the logo, explain some of the stuff on NDA, clear up the IP piece, and now we can move on and we can get painting and kit bash corner and how-tos and all sorts that you know and love. So please, like I say, give me some comments in the description below. Give me some comments in the comment section below. And as always, guys, I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.